there is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
Hello and welcome to Fulton Street Beats. Well, this box in front of me should be a Vox amplifier. This should be the Pathfinder Bass 10, and it should have two 5-inch drivers in it. Yes, it's a small combo amp, but they're supposed to deliver some pretty good sounds, and my main purpose in having this is, well, for recording over into my DAW and maybe micing up occasionally here in the studio. So, let's open this, but and then we'll go over some specifications. We'll see if it's really up to par, and hopefully it is. So, it just came UPS, and side note, I have like the world's best UPS driver. He's awesome. I hope I don't ever see him go. Really personable fella. So, even the size of the box, it is smaller than the size of the box. Now, I got this through Musician's Friend, and they gave me a deal on it because, well, honestly, I wanted to get it as cheap as possible, and they always seem to work with me. I'm going to put a link in the description of the gentleman that I go through at Musician's Friend, and you can give him either an email or a shout or a call, whatever you want, and you can order through him. So, I'm just looking at my invoice here. I like to cover all bases, so that is cool. Everything's good to go there. We'll stick that back there. And yes, it is a Vox. And I have my makeshift table set up today because, well, I don't have room anywhere else right now. And so it's a very small amp, actually, but it's got quite a bit of heft to it for a small amp. There's our box. And yes, Pathfinder 10. So at least they sent us the right thing. Let's get into this. Let's open it and see what we got. I'll give you some specs here. You're going to pay right around 130 bucks for one of these, unless you can get a bit of a discount. I've seen them on Amazon for as low as 102, but I've heard there's some problems sometimes when you get them from Amazon. So basically, it's a low wattage amp. It's only 10 watts. I know everybody's eyes roll at 10 watts. For my use, I think it's going to be fine. And as a matter of fact, when I'm using my little nano amps, my Legacies, they're only 5 watts, and they will literally shake this room. So, perfect for me. This has two 5-inch Vox Bulldog drivers in it. So, should be pretty decent. It's got a 1/4-inch input jack, 1/4-inch headphone, and line-out recording jack. It has a overdrive. It has a treble bass volume and bright switches. And what's the best thing about a Vox is their retroness, right? So let's pull this out here. Packaged quite decently. Got our manual. Let's set the box down here. And this is it right here. How cool is this? I mean, so I'm going to give you some close-ups of this thing too. They don't really, when you see these in reviews, you really don't get an idea of, well, just how cool something is or the texture of something. They don't show us the nitty-gritty. And being a Vox, I thought it would be pretty stout. And it's a stout, heavy little amp. I'll try to post the weight of it for such a small amp. And the dimensions. What are the dimensions of this? Do I even have dimensions? I may. So, well, it's about 12.5 pounds. It's got a depth of 6.69 inches, a width of 15 inches, you might as well say, and a height of around 11 inches. And it has a fixed AC cable. And I'm going to do a little modding to this amp. That's right. I'm going to mod the amp a little bit. We're going to try it the way it is, and then I have a few custom little things I'm going to do to this amp to make it have some tighter bass. And why am I going to do that? Well, because that's what we do here at Fulton Street Beats. We modify, we experiment, and we have fun. So, here's the front. Beautiful. You can see the crisscross pattern. And we have the like the light purplish pink, the white, and the green crisscross diamond shape. Our beautiful Vox logo, and the texture on the amp is amazing. What's really nice on top is we go to red. There. They're all individually serial numbered. I'm looking at the drivers in the back right now. I'll get you some pictures of those. So they're 5 watts a piece. And this says specifically designed Vox sound equipment. They're small little drivers. But how does it thump? That is the thing. Exactly how does it thump? Well, let's find out. Let's plug it in. And we'll come back and we'll talk about it afterwards. And I'll give you my first impressions. We'll see exactly what it sounds like. Now, keep in mind, I'm sure, as with any driver, there will be a break-in period. And if you are an audiophile or you know anything about speakers, you know that speakers usually have a general break-in period where they sound better over a bit of time. Now, being a bass driver, they usually break in a lot quicker than a mid-range or a high. So that's pretty cool. Let's listen to it. Let's check it out. And here we go. So what's the conclusion of this amp? I think the amp's really cool. I think my bass was a little out of tune. Wasn't the best playing in the world, but I'm just experimenting, trying to get some tones. I was getting some tones that I normally wouldn't get on a fretless bass. I can hear the strings bend, so it's got some articulation to the amp, and that's always a cool thing. So that's going to go right along the lines of what I need to mod this amp. If it's doing that already, it's probably going to do it very well when I'm done. I'm sure with the Rick style bass, it'll probably sound even a lot better, but that is a nice playing bass. I'm not going to lie. That actually is on reverb right now, man, and I'm kind of hating to see it go after I modded the hell out of it. But this Vox amp, it's beautiful. This white retro trim they put around it's just like a little, I don't know, piece of it's like a plastic trim, a hard plastic. It's cool. The logo's cool. The mesh grill's cool, and the handle, it's really heavy duty. It's stout. It's a stout little amp, and it's pretty, right? So I didn't mess around with the settings on it very much, well, at all, really. So got the volume. I guess I'm going to say that it's turned up about, man, a quarter of the way for that recording. I didn't turn it up a lot, and if anything, I probably overdrove my DAW or my audio interface. Treble side, I kept it right in the middle, and I kept the overdrive right off. Now, as we go in the upcoming videos, we'll be experimenting with the overdrive and everything else, but I wanted to unbox it for you guys and give you guys a taste of it. Man, it sounds really, really good. I hope it conveys out there how it does, and I don't want to overproduce the sound for you guys. I mean, when you watch videos and everything sounds so good and so great, but the truth of the matter is, this is what I want to do the work. So you're getting a raw sound going into my DAW, and that's the sound of the amp in the bass. It's that simple. So no effects on that whatsoever. Just an amp sound and a bass sound, and I honestly think it'll even shine more with the Rick style bass hooked up to it, because man, that thing sounds really good. That's a great bass guitar, as well as the P basses. It's also a great bass. They just do things differently, and we all have our individual tastes in sound, which is totally subjective. So thank you for watching Fulton Street Beats. If you have any comments, drop them in the comment section below. I'll be happy to get back to you. I'm going to get over here and do a little more playing, though, because, well, it's cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to rock and roll.